All right, guys, got another video here for you. First, before I get started with the video, I want to really thank everybody that's been watching my videos, subscribing to them. I really appreciated it. Really means a lot. But this new video is going to be a series I'm going to do. This is Project Cheryl, and this motor is not Cheryl. This is Cheryl. This is a 96 Chevy Blazer, 4.3 V6. Um, Got a blown motor. It got cold, and because of another problem with the motor, it busted. And I got water dumping down into the oil. Pull the dipstick. It's just a dinosaur juice milkshake. It's awful. But that motor that I just showed you is hopefully going to go in here. Um, the most important thing about tackling any project, the best advice I could give you is proper planning. In doing that, you're going to weed out your guesswork, um, possibly eliminate some mistakes that hopefully eliminate some mistakes to be made. The first thing I did in getting prepared to do this motor swap was I looked up the interchanges of these engines. Yes, a 4.3, but there's many different generations of engines, and it may affect, even if you're working on like a Ford or, Dodge or something like that, you may run across where there's different generations of engines, and they may not necessarily interchange with each other. I looked up on this one, and I got two different answers. 96 to 2000 and 96 to 99 would interchange with each other. So I'm going with the under. I'm going for 96 to 99. And that engine that I just showed you in the shop, it is a 96 to 99 when I looked up the numbers on the block. And I'll go in there and show you those real quick. Okay, so here's the numbers on the engine block. And I just put those numbers in Google. I just Googled them, and it came up GM V6 96 to 99. And it'll show you what vehicles it went in and all that kind of stuff. So that goes back to the proper planning. There's some features, and they might just be minor changes, and they might work from year to year, different generation to different generation. But you may wind up running into a problem where you have to make, like, a crank sensor is missing from one engine that you need on your particular application. And I don't really want to have to do any kind of modification of the wiring harness, anything like that. I just want to basically plug and play. I want to take the old one out, put the new one in, and everything plug up, not have to modify anything. So let me get off of this real quick. Another factor to take into consideration when you're getting ready to put a bunch of work or a bunch of money into a project, look at the condition of the vehicle. This thing right here it's got a lot of miles. It's like 300,000 miles on it, but the body's in good shape. There's not a dent in it. There's no rust at all in the frame and the body. The paint is a little faded on the roof, and it's really dirty. It's been sitting here for a few months while I've been trying to source an engine. But if this thing was really rusted and beat up, I don't know that I would put that kind of effort in putting a motor in it, unless I was just building a toy to play around the farm or something. Another point to take into consideration is your budget. How much can you afford to spend? How much are you willing to spend on a project like this? Um, it can be, depending on how much work you can do yourself, it can get to be a pretty expensive ordeal. You need to factor in stuff that you're going to absolutely have to put in there, your fluids, filters, belts, hoses, stuff like that, and just see if it makes sense to you, to spend that kind of money. What are your expectations of it? Do you want to flip the vehicle? Do you want to just fix it up, sell it, trade it in on another one? If it's gonna cost you 5,000 to fix the car and you're only gonna get 35 out of it, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to do that. When you go to take on a big project like this, there's going to be some times where you're going to need to have a hand. See if you're going to have a buddy or family member or neighbor or somebody that can give you a hand from time to time that's reliable. Because just for instance, taking the hood off, you can do it one person, but it's not fun. It's a lot easier to do with two people. Um, and your physical ability, be honest with yourself. Do you have the tools? Do you have the place to do it? Um, if you don't have a good concrete floor surface to be able to roll your engine hoist and engine stand and all that on, you're trying to do it out here on this gravel. The those little metal wheels are not going to roll very easy on that. So that's another thing to take into consideration. But what we're going to do is, I've taken all that into consideration. I think it's worth, because of the body shape, uh, the interior is in good shape and everything as well. I think I'm going to give it a shot at trying to fix it. The reason why I'm having to put a motor in it is the intake was leaking, and you can tell by looking at that other motor, it was leaking on that one as well, which seems to be a pretty common problem on these 4.3s. But it was leaking. We had a bad freeze, and there wasn't enough antifreeze to water ratio in the motor, and I guess it froze and busted and made a mix in the oil pan, and it shut down. So I don't know if pulling the motor out, if I can fix it or not. But I do want to have that other motor sitting there just to be sure if this one can't be fixed. That way I've got a backup plan. So this is episode 1 from Project Cheryl. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. There's going to be a lot more coming. I think the next video I'm going to do is going over the condition of the motor on the engine stand and checking it out and doing like a compression test on it and checking my bearing clearances and stuff and just see what we got, because I wasn't able to hear it run before I bought it. So fingers crossed that's going to work. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. I appreciate you guys for watching. I really do. If you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe button, and stay tuned. We'll have some more coming.